Welcome to another episode of Chamber Live.
Hello, and welcome to December. Right?
Oh gosh, yeah, December.
I still got my coat on.
It's 2024 when I'm gonna blink, and it's 2024. And but we're excited. This is a wonderful new launched show, podcast that we have launched, and we've got a great guest with us, Jill Gallagher with Gallagher Team, powered by Keller Williams. Hopefully, I got all of that in there.
Yes,
It's a lot, but welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, awesome. So tell us a little bit about the Gallagher Home Team.
So, I got my real estate license in 2007.
Oh, wonderful time.
A long time ago, yeah. And little did I know that the market was going to quickly nosedive into the toilet. And but ignorance is bliss, right? And I actually had, in 2006, I had my son, and I thought I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. So I was like, this is what I'm going to do. And that took about 6 months of me doing that to realize that's not what I want to do. And a friend of mine wanted to start flipping houses, and he said, I'm going to go to real estate school. I was like, that sounds like a great idea. I'll go with you. He didn't go, and I ended up going, and, he's still teaching school, and here I am.
Oh, wow.
Almost 17 years later. And so I joined a small firm. I thought Mooresville is where I need to be, even though I've lived in Statesville my whole life.
Right.
Don't ask me why I
Was
thought that.
Maybe that's when they were kind of in that growth stage, maybe?
Well, in my mind, I was like, I'll go sell $1 million houses, because that's how that works.
Sure, on the lake,
And, quickly, as the market turned, I ended up coming to a brokerage in Statesville, and I remember sitting, I shared an office with Sonia Leonard, and we were kind of overlooking that field between the office and the church on Broad Street. And I just remember thinking, gosh, I love downtown Statesville so much. I'm going to have an office here one day. Like, this was my dream. I love to hear the ARS kids playing out there. It's just full of life. And so fast forward 10 years, a lot of bumps and bruises and lessons. I had the opportunity to buy a building in downtown, and we opened our firm there. So Keller Williams has an office on West Broad Street.
Yeah.
I still get to hear those kids playing and laughing. And now we get,
the preschoolers there.
Yeah, and the dogs, because there's all the dog training companies come through.
That's right.
So it's just, it's a dream come true. It's been a lot of work, but Statesville's been so, so good to us, and we love this community.
Awesome. So backtrack to stay-at-home mom, 6 months. So what appealed to you about real estate? What was it that you thought, this is what I need to do? Because that was not what you were doing before.
No, I was a dental assistant.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, there's a lot of dental assistants and a lot of teachers that go into real estate. I don't know why.
Oh, interesting.
I know it's a weird thing, but it's very common. I think for me, my husband is a contractor. He's been in building his whole life. So I've always, my dad was handy and did a lot of things around the house. So I've always kind of enjoyed that aspect of it, but I like people. And I'd only bought a couple houses. So, it's not like I had, I guess, one house at that time.
Right.
So it's not that I had a ton of experience. I just really enjoyed, or thought that I would enjoy anyway, the house aspect and helping people with that.
Okay.
I also thought it would be a very flexible schedule. I learned some lessons real quickly that it's not.
It's flexible, but not for you.
Yeah. Your bosses are your clients.
Yeah.
And so, of course but as my business has grown and we have a team, of course, my time is more flexible now.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
Well, I was just going to ask you had mentioned that, time is more flexible. Do you feel like in the last 10 years, what has been like one of the biggest benefits of growing your business?
Oh, gosh. I think for me, in the beginning, it was about our clients and selling houses for me personally, because it was just me. And then in 2014, I hired my very first administrative person to help me. So 2013 was a really incredibly hard year. Personally, professionally, the market was terrible. All kinds of things happened. And I put my nose down, put my nose to the grindstone like I had never done before. I had recently joined Keller Williams, and they really taught me how to grow a business and exactly the steps that I needed to do. And it was like kind of like paint by numbers. I just said, okay, you tell me what to do and I'm going to go do it, because we needed to be successful. At that point, prior to that, it was kind of an expensive hobby, just to be honest. And so I went to work and I looked up. I had 16 transactions one month by myself. That's a lot of paperwork. And my broker in charge was like, I can't pay you until you get some paperwork done.
Oh, wow.
So I hired a client of mine, actually, and she's been with me ever since. So Samantha has been there for a lot of changes, a lot of things. So she's been very good to me. And as I've grown the team, I think my passion has become threefold. It's our community, our clients, and the people that work with me. I want to see them grow and diversify their income, have multiple streams of income, own investment properties, and really, change the course of their life and their family tree through real estate, because it's such a good vehicle for that.
You mentioned Keller Williams. There's a whole philosophy behind Keller Williams, isn't there? Their training and just how they support their realtors.
Sure.
Did that resonate with you initially, or did you just stumble into Keller Williams?
So, funny story. I had a transaction with an agent who was newer to the area. She'd been in real estate maybe 3 years and had not been in the area a whole lot longer than that, maybe 5. So not a lot, but was doing 3 times the business that I was. And I thought, how is she doing this? And so I had a conversation with her, and she was like, Keller Williams taught me everything to do. And so when I went and interviewed with them, they said, okay, well, we're the #1 real estate firm in size, in number of agents, in volume, and in training. Like, they're in the world record book for how many times they've won this award. So, huge training company. And I went to school. Yeah, basically, that's what I did. I went and got an education in real estate. And if you want to master something, that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
So
that's incredible. What wonderful support for you to have in growing, your business, and then deciding to stay right here in Statesville and do that too. And to be downtown Statesville, that's super fun.
I mean, you couldn't ask for a prettier setting, I love it.
What are some of your significant milestones? I mean, you talk about just parenting, right? Running your own business, and then, managing a home and children. Are there any other milestones within your career? Yeah,
my kids really don't know anything other than real estate. Me or mom doing real estate. They had to go to a lot of showings, and they sat in closings. My son was right about a year old when I got my license. My daughter was born into it. They know nothing other than that. And they've learned it. My son actually is talking about getting his real estate license. So we'll see.
I love that.
We'll see. And then, navigating, crazy markets, all the different things. But within our own team, we became the #1 selling team in Statesville several years ago. And last year we did a little over 100 transactions, which equals 100 families that we helped, right? And that, I don't take that lightly, that people put their largest asset in our hands to trust us. And client care is something that I'm super passionate about. And really just doing things differently and better as the market changes. You've got to update the way you handle things and do things and coach your clients. So, I think that's the big ones as far as, true milestones and in order where do we want to go? Our goals are big. Next year, of course, the market has gone backwards a little bit. For most people, 30 to 40% dip in business. We're only down about 10%, so I think that's huge. Next year, our goal is about 150 families that we want to serve. Eventually, our goal is about 700 locally. That's about half of the homes sold. So, that's a big goal.
Well, you think about all the homes that are being built right now. The potential is there. There's plenty for everyone. Because
absolutely.
I don't know what the current number is, but I feel like the last time we had a conversation with the city of Statesville, the number of homes was like 4,000. And I might be exaggerating that, but it's a lot. That's a lot of
Coming.
Yeah, coming in stage. They're
Yep.
different stages, but I bet if you drive anywhere around, you're going to see these developments popping up everywhere, and they're fast.
But we're primed for growth.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the one of the great things about Statesville is our infrastructure. I mean, the amount of highways and interstates and good roads, exits. I mean, it's a really easy to access. We're primed for it. You know, of course,
It's here. It's really here. It's
yeah.
really.
People don't want to hear it.
But it's here.
It's here, and you know, we've got great school systems too, and I just, I count myself very lucky to have been born and raised here and be able to serve the community here. Yeah.
One of the things, Jill, that most people may not know about you is that you love to stay on top of things, and you spend a lot of time on professional development for yourself, but also for your team. You know, what are you reading right now? What are you doing right now? I know you're always, or what are you thinking you're going to do? I know you always got something planned. I do know this, and I've read some great books because of you and your ideas. So what's on your reading table right now?
So a couple of different things. Surprisingly, I have 3 books going right now. So one is called The Power of Habit.
Okay.
So Charles Duhigg wrote that. It's similar to Atomic Habits, but the nerdier version of it, the science behind it. So fascinating read, because I think we all have habits we would like to get rid of and habits that we would like to implement.
Sure.
So reading that one. Another one is called Be Seen, which is about being your authentic self in business and marketing and really being who you are, owning it, and working with the people that like you, basically.
Yeah.
They don't have to be like you, but they have to like you, right?
Yeah.
And then the other one is called The Mountain Is You. That one is a very hard read because there's a lot of self-awareness in it, and it really calls you out on your own stuff and how you're self-sabotage and get in your own way. And so, yeah, 3 vastly different books. That's the only reason I can read 3 at a time. But that's been my, I guess, over the course of the last year, that's kind of been my cadence of really deep diving into self-awareness and knowing more of who you are and owning it.
And that's a big awareness, is understanding yourself and saying, I have this problem, I'm owning it, now how do I make myself better from it?
So many people say, well, that's just how I am. That's a cop-out. So that
It can be if you don't want to change yourself.
Yeah.
I have a lot of faults, but one that I always talk about at the office is it's okay to remind me that I didn't do something for you because I either forgot or just got distracted or procrastinated on it. Probably procrastinated. That's one of my biggest things. But, just trying to be better, writing myself a little note. Don't forget to do this, Shannon.
I read.
But it's okay to tell me I forgot.
Something I read not long ago said that procrastination is just oh my gosh. Procrastination is just a form of perfectionism.
How is that?
And so that often you don't get it done because you need the time to get it done right, you think. And so you put it off because you don't have time. Half done's better than perfect. But
I see.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Well, I think my procrastination lies in if I don't want to do something and I'm just dreading it, I just keep putting it off. The stuff I don't mind doing, I do it, but I find myself, I just don't want to do this for whatever reason.
I'd come in a couple times asking her, just eat the frog. Just eat the frog early in the day. Get it done.
It sounds so good. It's not easy. It's not easy.
No, that's great, though. And what was the last book, the mountain book you said?
The Mountain Is You.
The Mountain Is You. All right. Maybe I need to download that. Is that too hard to read during vacation? That's too heavy? Don't read that one.
It depends. I'm a vacation reader that is like, I love, how can I be introspective and think about things? Because that's really the only time I can slow down.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
So, yeah, for me, I think, but if you're a beach Harlequin romance reader, then that's not going to be a good book for you.
No.
But, I think if you really want to deep dive into it and have some thinking time and journaling time,
Very good.
I'm going to jump into this question. Could you share any advice or lessons learned from your business journey that might be beneficial to an aspiring realtor
Or entrepreneur.
or entrepreneur?
I mean, the lessons in real estate go way beyond real estate. I think the number one thing that an entrepreneur has to have is stick-to-itness. You know, like you just have to have tenacity, because you're going to have good months and good years, and you're going to have bad months and bad years. And it's all about the career, you know, like overall, was it good? And, you know, I was not a numbers focused business owner. Like real estate doesn't even seem like it would be in a lot of ways. Some ways, yes. And that's one thing that Keller Williams and having a coach, honestly, really, really taught me, was to deep dive into numbers, knowing that every family is a number and every number represents a person. It's not about the numbers, but you have to know them as a business owner. And I think we often, we only want to focus on people, and then yet at the end of the year, we have no idea how much money we made, how we definitely don't have money for taxes because we spent it all. And, you know, like just we're bad business owners, but we love people, and it has to be a balance of both. So I think that's a huge piece of it.
And I think you'll see that with any entrepreneur, because it's like they have a passion for this and they really want to do it, but they don't know how to do the back end part. And that's the challenge, I think, until you've done it, you know, and you've figured it all out. Sometimes they go into it, well, I'll figure this out later. I know this is what I want to do. So
That kind of goes back to that self-awareness
Yeah.
also, right? What are you good at? What are you willing to give to somebody else to do to support
that's
you,
right.
That's a
probably
big one.
Huge.
I know I don't want to spend time on the book side, so who can I find to help me with that? Right. Even if it's, you know, even if it's taken away from some of your, you know, your front end money, but
Oh my gosh, it's so worth it. You know, and that's that was the other piece, is really hiring incredible people that, you know, love your business, love your clients just like you do, and really appreciate that. And that's one thing that I think we've really worked on in the last couple of years, is really lining up what our values are as a team and hiring people that match those values. Like you could be an amazing salesperson that sells hundreds of houses a year, but if your values don't line up with ours, if you're not going to treat our clients and our vendors the way that we expect that, then you're not the right fit for us. And I've just learned to trust that process, that the people inside the business matter as much as the people on the outside, and vice versa. Like it's a great working relationship. And so like I am not good at details and numbers, and while I've gotten better at it, it's not a strength that I'm ever going to develop. So having somebody on my team that is her passion 100%, I mean, I think she dreams in numbers, you know, like that fills her bucket to be able to present that, and there's pride in it. I love it.
Yeah. So how many people are on your team? What are you looking to grow? What do you see? I'm really interested in just learning from your perspective what you see the Statesville area looks like for 2024, 2025, really.
Yeah, right. Yes. And I do think that 2024 is oh goodness. I mean, it is a ramp up to what 2025 looks like. I really believe. So we're a team of 5, 3 in sales. So me and 2 others are in sales. And then we have 2 administrative support staff that handle all the other stuff, keep us straight. We are definitely looking for agents who want to build a successful business. I mean, we will always be hired. We don't grow to 700 transactions with 5 people. Right. That's not going to happen. So we're always looking for that. Whether they're licensed or not licensed, as long as they can get a license, you know, that's we're willing to work with people down that path. Experienced or new, if you already have a license, that's the beauty of where we are positioned within our business and our strategic partnerships, is that it really is paint by numbers. I mean, I know that sounds so simple, but if you sit down and you do the work, the results will always come. They just do. I mean, they just do. And so we can kind of help anybody along those lines. And then, you know, as far as what's going on in the real estate market and where we're headed, and we talked about growth. I think we're going to look up in the next 10 years and we're not going to recognize the amount of growth that we had. You know, Mooresville was always growing, and then Troutman just the wave of COVID growth overtook Troutman. It's here. It's on our doorsteps, and the amount of people and the just the new neighborhoods and how quickly they're selling from all over the nation. We definitely have a lot of people moving here from other states. We saw that during COVID. It didn't slow down.
Wow.
Well, we have a lot of great things. We have a very stable economy. Our appreciation is typically stable, 4 to 5%. We aren't these huge swings normally. And then, we have all 4 seasons. We have great location.
I think it's also a great place for business. So when you grow business, that's where it's like the chicken or the egg. You bring the business here, the growth's going to come in, and people in the same way. You're going to have people here. And North Carolina as a state is great. They love business. They are always. It's a very open community of let's welcome you here.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's great tax rates. I mean, we have the lowest tax rate in Iredell County. I think we're very low compared to especially our neighbors.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah.
And a lot of that has to do with having a great balance of business, industry, and population.
Absolutely.
It has to balance, and we definitely have that here.
Yeah. And so I'm excited about where it's going in the next several years. I think there's really good things to come for Statesville.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, as we wrap up, anything that we didn't talk about that is just on your mind, it's burning, that you need to tell us about?
So this is going to be a little time specific, but if I had a crystal ball, this is what I think. As interest rates went up, our market slowed down. Prices did not come down,
No.
FYI.
I have noticed.
So as interest rates, the ebb and flow, I believe every indication points to the interest rates are going to continue to fall. We're probably never going to see 2s and 3s and 4s again.
For a
that's
while.
not healthy.
Yeah.
5s and 6s possibly. 6s probably. And as that happens, there's still so much pent up demand for homes. We are going to see an influx of buyers all over again. So people that are if you can buy right now, I would do it because you got more opportunity to pick. And you're not fighting other buyers off and, an arm and a leg and please take my firstborn so I can buy your house.
I know.
Because that's how it felt.
It did.
I really think that we're going to end up in a similar situation in the next 6 months. And it's going to be an interesting ride again. And potentially home values are going to go through the roof again. So it's going to be a wild ride in 2024.
Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Y'all remember that from Disney World? That was always my favorite. Well, thank you, Jill Gallagher with the Gallagher Home Team powered by Keller Williams.
Yes,
We
thanks for
appreciate
having
you
me.
being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.